Hey guys, this video is going to be about Donald Trump, Jesus Christ's return, and a word of warning. So 6 months ago, back in April of this year, 2020, I came across a lady's dream video about Donald Trump, right here on YouTube. And her dream has never left my mind. It puzzled me. I mean, I knew it was from God, and yet it didn't make sense. And here's why. It's because the dream connects Christ's return with Donald Trump, and literally how Jesus feels about Trump when he returns. But the problem is this. I received a message from God back in 2008 that Christ is going to return exactly 2,000 years from the year he died. He died Passover AD 28, and he's returning trumpets 2028. So I knew if Trump got reelected this year, 2020, then he would have left office in January of 2025. His 8 years would have been done 2025. So this didn't make any sense with the lady's dream. Why did God give her a dream connecting Donald Trump with the day of Christ's return? Okay, so that brings us to what's happening right now, here in November 2020. Trump just lost the election. And you know what that means? It means he can run again in 4 years. He can seek a second term in the 2024 election. And if he wins, he'll start his second term January 20th, 2025. And he won't leave office until January 20th, 2029. But Christ is returning in the fall of 2028. This means that there's now a possibility that Donald Trump could be President of the United States of America when Jesus Christ returns, just like the lady's dream was showing. This also means he would be president during the entire horrible 3.5-year Great Tribulation. That's scary. So let me play the dream, and then I have a few last words at the end.
This is a dream that I had before Donald Trump was elected president. It was during the process of him and Hillary campaigning, but it was like coming to an end basically at this point.
Hey guys, it's Gabriel here. I'm going to break in occasionally during this lady's testimony just to clarify a few things. So did you catch what she said right there? This was 2016 when she had her dream about Donald Trump. This was election year. You know, the election was in November of that year, 2016. And late in that season, during the campaigning, when Hillary and Donald Trump were campaigning, probably September, October, is when she had this dream. And if you remember, that was the time period when Donald Trump was holding up his Bible at rallies, saying how it was his favorite book.
2 Corinthians, right? 2 Corinthians 3:17. That's the whole ball game.
And yet when he was questioned about it, asked what was one of his favorite verses, he couldn't name one.
You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what 1 or 2 of your most favorite Bible verses are, and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. You know, when I talk about the Bible, it's very personal. So I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into...
There's no verse that means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Can you imagine? It's your favorite book, but you don't want to talk about it. Anyway, this is the same time period, late in 2016, when Trump was paying off porn stars secretly, behind the American voting public's knowledge, so that he could get elected. Basically, he was rigging the election. And during this time period is when this lady had this dream.
And I remember seeing all of these videos on YouTube of people like praising Donald Trump, saying that the Lord has sent him and all this crazy stuff. And I don't know how I feel about this in my spirit, because I was saying, Lord, I'm very confused about this. How do you feel? Like, I want to know. Please reveal to me who this man is. Even now, there's so much confusion about Donald Trump that some people believe that he might be the Antichrist. Some people are saying that it's not that he's the Antichrist, but God is not using him and Christians are deceived. I mean, we do have to be careful, because even the Bible says even the elect will be deceived, you know. So during this time, I'm like, Lord, I'm so confused. Like, reveal who this man is to me. Reveal it.
See, that's a really good sign, guys. She is petitioning God, wanting to know about Donald Trump. This isn't just some woman who just had a dream out of nowhere. No, she's asking God, who is Donald Trump? People, if you want to know something, ask God. You have not because you ask not. The other thing I wanted to point out here from the beginning is the time period when she's telling this. When you're watching this lady telling her story, it's actually December of 2017. It's about a year later when she decided to make the video and tell of what had happened to her a year earlier. That's why she didn't give the exact date of when she had the dream. Because it's been a year now. Donald Trump's been president for almost a year. She uploaded this video December 16th, 2017. So just keep all that in your mind as you're watching this lady tell her story. It's 2017. The other thing is, right after her dream, she received a miraculous confirmation from God. Another huge key that what's happened to her was the real deal. Look how fast God answers her prayer.
And I tell you, 2 days later, I was in a deep sleep. And this is when I first moved here. And I didn't have my own apartment at this point. And my sister allowed me to stay in her guest room. And had all my bags and everything in there. I was just in a deep sleep. And this is a very powerful dream. Very, very powerful. I had a dream that I was walking in the street, and the sky was very, very dark. But you know how when the sky is dark and it almost has that goldish, reddish color at the bottom? I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like almost in that beautiful color you see at the horizon, but it looked dark, a little scary. And as I'm walking across the street, I'm looking up, and there's a poster of Donald Trump. This huge poster. And this poster, I don't know what it was. It looks like a campaign poster.
Did you catch that? She said it looked like a campaign poster. In a second here, she's going to tell you it's actually a billboard. So it looked like a campaign billboard. And she's about to make it very clear here in her dream that this is the second coming of Jesus Christ. This day that she's experiencing in the dream, it's the second coming of Jesus Christ. He's about to return. He's about to burst through the blackened, darkened sky. So I know what year that is. 2028. So if Donald Trump wins the presidency in 2024 and has his second term, is he going to be running again for a third term in 2028? Has he somehow overrun the Constitution by that point? And he's running for a third term? Something to think about.
But Donald Trump was in this poster. He had a suit on and everything. And it was the cheesiest poster I've ever seen. It was like this. Literally so cheesy. Like, I was just like, and I was looking up at the poster thinking, what a weird looking poster. But he's in the suit. It's like, it looks like this ugly picture that he uses on The Apprentice when the show's about to start. Because I used to actually watch that show. He was just like this huge poster, idolatrous poster that he has up in the middle of New York. And as I'm looking at the poster like, it's a really weird poster. It was a billboard, actually. It's a huge billboard that Donald Trump put up. And and then I'm walking across the street, and I noticed that there were a bunch of mortars across the street, and these mortars were crying, and I was just so scared, like, why are they crying? And they're like, oh my God, and I had a knowing that the Lord was coming. He was gonna come, and his wrath was gonna come.
So you see what's going on here, guys. It's very clear. This is the day of Christ's return. The mourners, she can tell the wrath of God is about to come. Over and over the Bible talks about the mourners on the day of Christ's return. Jesus talked about it in Matthew. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn. And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. John the Revelator talked about it. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. You see what's going on? She's having this dream in 2016, late in the election cycle. It's very clear. This is the day of Christ's return, and there is Donald Trump on a big billboard. Now, mind you, all she wanted to know is if Donald Trump was of God or if he was not of God. Isn't it amazing when you ask God something, he will give you almost always more than you ask for. He'll answer you in a way that you never thought of. He's going to give this girl more information about Donald than she ever asked for. She didn't ask about the return of, you know what I'm saying? She didn't ask about Christ's return. But 2 days after asking, she's having this dream. Let's get back to it.
But his wrath, I feel like his wrath is coming. And then immediately I saw the mortars. I started repenting. And I started to go with the mortars, almost to blend with them. And I was like, oh my God, Lord, forgive me. I know I haven't been right with you. Lord, please forgive me. And all the mortars are there. And I was like, oh, and I started to do the same face as them. Oh, you know how, like, you see that painting, that old painting with a face like this? Like, that's how their face looked. They looked so terrified. And as they're doing that, they're, oh my goodness, oh, the Lord is coming, the Lord. And then as they're doing that, all of a sudden, a huge lion came out of the heavens. It was a huge brass lion. I mean, this thing was like huge. It looked like goldish, brassish, and it was beaming with the light of God.
Remember, guys, Jesus is returning as the Lion from the tribe of Judah. And there he was, bursting through the sky in this lady's dream. Listen to what happens next.
And in the dream, me and the mortars, I went to join them, and I was repenting to the Lord, and the Lord allowed me to join the mortars. And the Lord, when he came out of the sky as in the form of the lion, everybody was shocked. Like the mortars was, oh my God. They were so terrified because they were terrified for their salvation, and they were wanting to be counted worthy. And when he came out, the Lord jumped down to where the poster was, the billboard of Donald Trump. He jumped down to where the billboard was, and he was furious. When I say the Lord was furious, and I didn't even have to question if this was God in the dream, because when the Lord comes into dreams or vision, there is a power that comes with it. It's an immense power, like overbearing power of glory. And when you're in the presence of the Lord, you know you're in the presence of a king. And if you ever have a dream that if you don't know if something is God or so God comes in a form and you're confused, it's not God. I had no confusion. When me and those mortars saw him, we knew it was the Lord. He came in the form of the Lion of the tribe of Judah. And the Lord came out he was gold. He was like gold and brass. It was amazing. The light was radiating off of him. The mane that came from the lion was just huge, and the light and the glow, and the sky was dark. He came out of a hole in the sky. and he jumped down to where this billboard was, the lion. And when I say the Lord was angry, he was furious, and then he ripped the poster, he ripped the billboard from off of its high place, destroyed the billboard, and crashed it to the ground. When I say he pulled down this billboard of Donald Trump with so much wrath and so much anger, that what I took from that was he was literally using his teeth to drag this poster, this billboard from up upon the city of New York. It was sitting on a pretty high place too. I guess the Lord was saying he's going to take the Donald Trump down from his high place, because he's exalting himself like a god in our in our world.
There you have it, guys. On the day of Christ's return, he is furious with Donald Trump. This is not a ringing endorsement of Donald Trump, as if Donald Trump is God's man, going to lead the whole world back into righteousness. No. Why is Jesus furious with Donald Trump when he returns? I mean, if Donald Trump is David, like people are talking, or Cyrus, or whoever they're, exalting Donald Trump to be, then when Jesus returned in this lady's dream, it should have went totally different. It should have been like, she should have seen the billboard of Trump, I don't know, lifted up into heaven with angels' wings, like, whoa, just because Donald Trump is so great. But that's not how it went down.
But y'all, this is the only dream I had about Donald Trump and how the Lord feels about him. And I prayed about this because I was confused. But just watch and pray, y'all. Don't believe all the things that these Christians are saying, because some of them are deceived. Ask God, seek the Lord about this, because a lot of people are deceived. Yes, he might be doing some things for Israel, and there's a Bible prophecy there that he's making Jerusalem the capital of Israel, and these things have to come to pass, whether God uses wicked or whether he uses the righteous. Just know that it will come to pass. So let's not put our faith in just because he's fulfilling prophecy. Let's not put that in our faith. Like, let's seek the Lord about this. Seek the Lord how he really feels about Donald Trump, if he's really being used by him.
She is so right here. Folks, God will use anyone he wants to do his will. If he's made prophecies about things, whether the person is good or evil, he will use them to bring about whatever he's prophesied. For example, John the Baptist. If you would listen to my 2028 End video series, you would learn that John the Baptist had to die before Christ left the earth. And so he used King Herod to get that accomplished. King Herod lopped off John's head. Wicked King Herod was being used of God to fulfill prophecy. And many other examples in the Bible. Nebuchadnezzar, wiping out the Israelites. Back in the Old Testament, King Pharaoh from the Egyptians. Think about all the things God was using him to do to accomplish his will. There's many more examples. Just because God's using someone doesn't make that person automatic, oh, that person's from God. That person's going to heaven when they die. No. God will use the wicked or the just to bring about things that he wants. And we're at a time period right now, folks, where God is going to wrap up his prophecies right before Christ's return. So yes, I fully agree Donald Trump is being used of God. But don't let that fool you. That's not an automatic, oh, that means Donald Trump is from God, man. He's King David. No. So she's right on that. So use your own discernment. Here now is her amazing confirmation right after she woke up from her dream.
Immediately after I woke up, I just woke up in terror from having this dream, because I know it was a warning for me too, because there was a part of the dream where I was going with the mortars, and that I was trying to almost blend in with them because it seemed like I wasn't ready for the Lord coming and his wrath. So when I woke up from the dream terrified, one of the first things I went to do is grab my phone. So I went to grab my phone, and on my phone, you know how you go to YouTube and you see videos on your phone, but it looks like maybe the page has been there for a while, so it starts refreshing. So that's what was happening to my phone. And I saw that there was a video, a huge, like one of the first videos I saw on my phone. It was, it had a thumbnail that looked just like, it looked like this, but it said something like, I don't, Donald Trump versus the lion, something like that. This picture is not exact, but there was basically a picture of a lion that I guess the lion represented God in the thumbnail of the video, and Donald Trump, and it said versus in the middle, so it would say a lion versus Donald Trump, and the pictures were side to side.
How about that, guys? It's what she just dreamed. A lion taking down Donald Trump. And as soon as she wakes up, she grabs her phone, and when she gets on, you know, it's refreshing, it's changing, but it's not before she's able to see a picture of a lion facing Donald Trump. And it says the lion versus Donald Trump. It doesn't say the lion with Donald Trump, you know. No, like I am against you. The lion against Donald Trump. Amazing confirmation the moment she woke up.
This is not the exact picture, but it was something close. It was very close. And when I saw it, I was just like, oh my God, confirmation of my dream. It's the first thing I saw when I picked up my phone immediately after I got up from my dream. And then, you know how I was saying that my phone was refreshing because I guess the page has been there for so long that YouTube starts to refresh it. I go to try to click on the video and the whole page refreshed, and I was like, no. And then I guess the Lord didn't want me to see it because he just wanted me to see the thumbnail as a confirmation. And the first thing I saw when I woke up.
She's exactly correct here. God didn't want her visiting that web page or video or whatever it was, trying to discern more from whatever maybe that website would have been speaking about or had written about or whatever it was. No, he just wanted her to see a lion versus Trump, what she had just dreamed. It was just confirmation that her dream was from God. Somehow, when Jesus returns, Donald Trump is going to be a major player. And God is going to destroy him, is what I take from that dream. There's two people the Bible talks about at the end who Jesus and God are going to destroy at the time of his second coming. The Antichrist and the false prophet. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, this is we're living in a very weird time. Very weird time. There's so much things happening. Y'all stay prayed up in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Wow. So how about that, guys? See, Jesus is returning as the Lion from the tribe of Judah. He's returning in power and great glory, just like she described the lion in her dream. It's the day of God's wrath. And that's why the sky was black and scary, and why the mourners were crying out in fear. The Bible literally says this is what people will be doing at Christ's return. And all the tribes of the earth will mourn. And so there was Donald Trump, set up high on a billboard. And you heard it. Jesus was furious with him. So what does this mean? Will Donald Trump be president when Christ returns? He will be if he wins a second term in 2024. Furthermore, is the USA the second beast of Revelation chapter 13, as many believe? If so, then Donald Trump will be the leader of that beast during the Great Tribulation. This means he will despise the true people of God, those who keep the commandments of God. So I don't know the answers to these things right now, but from this dream I can give you a warning. Stop worshiping Donald Trump. Stop going to his rallies where he demeans and belittles and bullies others. Stop hanging on his every word like he's God, chanting along with any insane thing he says like, "Lock 'em up, lock 'em up." Stop worshiping Donald Trump. Worship only Jesus. Fall in love with Jesus. Spend time with him. Long for his words. And just let God control what happens these final 8 years as he fulfills his words. I don't want you to find out when it's all over that you literally helped put into power the very wicked one the Bible talked about. The most prideful, egotistical person in the world. The one who will kill God's precious people. You don't want that on you. I would never vote for Donald Trump. So that's it. You can ignore this message if you want to, but consider yourself warned. And let's see what happens. God bless.
Look, Putin, from everything I see, has no respect for this person.
Well, that's because he'd rather have a puppet as president of the United States.
No puppet.
And it's pretty clear.
You're the puppet.
It's pretty clear you won't admit that the Russians have engaged in cyber attacks against the United States of America, that you encouraged espionage against our people, that you are willing to spout the Putin line, sign up for his wish list, break up NATO, do whatever he wants to do, and that you continue to get help from him because he has a very clear favorite in this race.
Let me ask you a question you probably never pondered. Why did God create the world in 6 days? Do you think he had no logic, motive, or purpose behind using that specific number of days? Do you think he just placed a bunch of numbers in a hat and nonchalantly drew one? Or do you believe the cosmos required that precise number of days to be completed, as if God could not have created it in 1, 2, 5, or any other number of days? Friend, you should know better. God can do anything. Which brings us back to the original question. Why did God create the world in 6 days? The answer to this mystery is contained in the Bible, and its gradual, albeit secret, uncovering in story after story leads to the stunning prophetic title of Gabriel Ansley Erb's book, Undeniable Biblical Proof Jesus Christ Will Return to Planet Earth exactly 2,000 years after the year of his death. But far more important than merely discovering this fact, Gabriel's book will fully elucidate and crush all confusion concerning what a person must do to obtain eternal life. For it will illuminate the true spiritual meaning behind every detail God controlled to happen in the ancient Bible stories. So sit back and hold on, because Gabriel's message is going to be a life-changing ride. Order your copy today in paperback or ebook form from Amazon.com.